Welcome to Robles 101, your channel for expression and exploration. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how to get your kids more engaged in playtime. And this is something that I'm developing a course on, which once the course comes out, I'll put a link in the video description. But how to get your kids more engaged in playtime. First of all, identify what they like doing, what they don't like doing. What type of toys do they play with more than the other toys? Is it action figures? Is it the stuffed animals? Is it the race cars? Is it dolls? Or is it using the imagination with the kitchen sets? And I know those Black & Decker has those tool sets that the kids can use to build stuff. But whatever it is, first identify what they have and identify what they like playing with the most. What they are naturally drawn to. My kids love Legos and action figures. Those are huge staples in our home. And a way that I keep my kids engaged that's worked for me, this might not work for you or your kids, but it worked for me and I'd love to share it with you. What worked for me was asking my kids, what do you want to happen next? It doesn't matter the context of what we're doing. It's giving the kids, my children, the power to guide me into their minds, into their playtime. So I say, what would you like to happen next? Oh, Dad, I'd like this person to fall down off the building, but right before he hits the ground, he finds out he can fly and he just takes off. I say, that sounds incredible. And then we act it out. And if it is action figures, for us, it's a little bit easier to do action figures. But when my kids are playing Legos, same thing. They love building robots with like loads and loads of guns and weapons and machinery. Or cars that can fly, right? A little car with the wings coming out. And again, I'll ask them, what would you like to happen next? Or I'll say, what would you like to see this car do? What would you like to see this car or boat or whatever do? Oh, Dad, I think it'd be great if this, that. And they're constantly digging within themselves to pull out what they would be interested in. And then, of course, you listen to what they say, you do the thing that they would be interested in, and it gets them more engaged. Now, something else I add on top of that is I say, now, what would happen next? If this car did this, and then we act it out, and they're engaged, they're enjoying that process, I say, what would happen next if this car can fly? Where would this car fly to? And by asking them what next, you're creating a sequence of events in their mind, and you're strengthening that link of, it started with the flying car, this is what I wanted to happen next, or this is what I wanted to happen, and now this is what's coming next. So now already you're building a storyline, you're building a playtime activity where it's not just chaos looking at Legos everywhere. In your child's mind, the Legos that are everywhere, it could be a very intricate story or very intricate plot that they have going on, but they don't know how to express it yet. So we say clean up the Legos, clean up the action figures, but they're like, no, that was just this building that was destroyed, or that was this car that had the wings broken off. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So ask those questions. What would you like this to do? Or what would you like to have happen? And now what would you like to happen next? These are great ways to use your child's mind to play how they want to play, because it's so easy for adults to know and to assume that we have all the answers. We know what's fun. Trust me, this is what I've been doing all my life. We're going to do it this way. But that's not the case. Playtime should be creative. It should be imaginative. But more importantly, it should be collaborative. And when I say collaborative, that's very one-sided because it should be coming from the mind of the child. Now, there's a course that I'm working on where I begin introducing skill sets into playtime, like forgiveness, like trusting yourself, like using your imagination, like staying optimistic into playtime with Legos, with cars, with action figures, whatever it is. But it's a way, again, to empower them to take control of their playtime. And the collaboration comes into place when we as the adults, we as their guardians, we introduce an idea or a skill for their mind. It's like planting a seed in a very fertile soil, allowing them to take it and receive it, but not in a way where it's direct. This is how you forgive people. This is how you use your imagination. This is how you be optimistic. Whenever we start forcing and shoving things to people, our ego mind puts up a filter, puts up a barrier and says, I don't know if I like this because this idea didn't come from me. Who is this? Are they credible? Can this work? Does it make sense for me? No, I don't like it. I don't want it. Even if it's the best thing for our kids, sometimes it needs to be planted in a very small, tiny seed. And the best way to do that is with playtime and through playtime. Not to mention, you get to see your kids laughing and smiling. A very, very proud moment that I had, that I experienced, was when me and my children, Aiden and Nicholas, were playing toys with each other. And I actually forgot what the joke was, but one of the action figures was doing something and it was so silly. And we were laughing about it, and we were just laughing. And Lindsay, my wife, she can hear us laughing in the other room, and that always warms her heart, hearing her boys laughing together and playing with each other. But then the proud moment came a few hours later. I think we were at dinner time, or maybe we were doing bedtime, and the boys said something that was in our playtime. It was an inside joke that we developed, and they said it, and we all started laughing. And Lindsay, my wife, was like, what's so funny? I don't understand that. And we, the boys, created our own joke based on the playtime that we were experiencing with each other. So now that's strengthening my relationship with them. It's also keeping me, their father, on top of their minds, knowing that, oh, my dad plays with me, my dad jokes with me, my dad will understand this. And it's important to plant these seeds now while they're young, because when they're older and they are going through what high schoolers go through, they are going through the heartbreaks, they are going through finding a job, they are going through difficult tests and questioning their self-worth, they're going to know from that little seed that I've planted in them through playtime, oh, my dad will get this. My dad will understand this because of the inside jokes, because of the playtime, because of the time invested into my kids' well-being. So I highly encourage you to jump on the playtime today. Jump on the playtime and ask some basic questions to your kids. They don't have to know the answer. And if they don't know the answer, what would you like to have happen next? If they say, I don't know, that's okay. Use your imagination. Find the things that they don't like to happen. And then you could start to pivot. Sometimes my kids like it when we're on a serious storyline and the main character, the protagonist, is really on a mission and he needs to get this weapon to unlock something else, but he can't find the weapon because he needs to, right? Like, that's more of a serious playtime. And I act accordingly. But sometimes my kids are in a goofy, silly mood. They like playing and laughing and joking. So sometimes it's falling off the building and then they do the splits and they hit the ground and they laugh and it's hysterical for them. So there's so many fun ways to go about this. Ultimately, jump into playtime immediately. Empower your children by asking them the questions. What would you like to have happen next? What would you like to see here? What would you like to experience here? How could this interact with this? That's obviously a little bit more advanced, but there's ways to continue building the storyline. And if you would like help with that playtime or ideas for playtime, then please send a message down in the comment section, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'm going to be releasing more videos on how specifically to get playtime incorporated into a daily routine. Now it's something that my kids are always coming up to me, Dad, can we play toys? Dad, when are you going to get off the computer so we could play toys? Dad, when are you going to get off the phone so we could play toys? And I love it. It excites me because when I was a kid, toys, it done so much for me. Having my imagination and using my fingertips to play with these action figures and create these grand storylines of love, of death, of sorrow, of overcoming, of training, right? Like, there's all these beautiful emotions that we can capture in playtime and begin introducing them to our kids before it actually comes time for them to experience the heartbreak, the deep forgiveness, the deep work it's going to take for them to XYZ. By doing so, we're able to give our kids that proper playtime that they deserve, and that's going to strengthen their minds. So thank you so much for tuning into this video. Robles 101, your channel for expression and exploration. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.